ever since a deranged gunman walked into a South Florida high school murdering 17 people last week. The left has been working overtime pushing more control on the masses. These gun grabbers are convinced that if we just had more gun control, the shootings would stop and everyone would live happily ever after. Of course, we all know that isn't true and that banning inanimate objects is not the issue, but the left won't hear of it since it goes against their narrative they have crafted over the years that guns are indeed the issue. So, as the left continues to wring their hands and look for ways to blame the increase in mass shootings on evil Republicans, one lawmaker uncovered who the latest shooter in Florida was connected to, which has liberals desperate to keep hidden. After a tragedy occurs, it is normal for people to look for answers as to why this could have happened and what could be done to prevent future tragedies. However, when it comes to liberals, they do not want to look for reasons that make sense. Instead, they are only concerned with controlling the masses by using fear and manipulation. Thankfully, there are numerous conservative lawmakers inside the Beltway that balance that insanity with actual logic, which the left hates with a passion. For instance, after the shooting occurred at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida, the left jumped back on their soapbox pushing for more gun laws. However, not everyone is buying that more gun laws would prevent more shootings, but that there is something else amiss that could be causing the sudden increase in gun violence. Well, one Republican lawmaker in New York believes she found the cause of all these mass shooting that has liberal Democrats frantic to keep out of the mainstream news. Here is more from the Hill. Rep. Claudia Tenney RNY said Wednesday that many mass shooters end up being Democrats. Tenney made the claim in an interview with radio host Fred Dicker, exactly 1 week after the mass shooting at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. Obviously there's a lot of politics in it, Tenney said. And it's interesting that so many of these people that commit the mass murders end up being Democrats, but the media doesn't talk about that either. Nicholas Cruz, 19, is accused of killing 17 students and staff members and injuring 14 others in a shooting at a Florida high school last Wednesday. Photos on Cruz's social media accounts showed him wearing a red "Make America Great Again" hat. Cruz reportedly espoused violently racist, anti-Semitic and homophobic views in a private social media chat group. Tenney said she was concerned that the response to the Florida shooting would result in legal gun owners being targeted. "I think the government really made a mistake in this area," she said. "I think that's what scares me most. A lot of these legal gun owners are going to be targeted now, and in their demographic, they have the least amount of crimes of virtually any demographic." It is possible that Tenney's remarks about Democrats were referring to James T. Hodgkinson, the gunman who was led by authorities after he opened fire on Republican lawmakers practicing for the congressional baseball game last June. Hodgkinson was later revealed to have been a volunteer on the presidential campaign for Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont. Tenney later defended her remarks as standing up for law-abiding citizens who are smeared by anti-gun liberal elitists. "I am fed up with the media and liberals attempting to politicize tragedies and demonize law-abiding gun owners and conservative Americans every time there is a horrible tragedy," she said. In a statement, "While we know the perpetrators of these atrocities have a wide variety of political views, my comments are in response to a question about the failure to prosecute illegal gun crime." Tenney's Democratic challenger, Anthony Brindisi, criticized her radio comments on Twitter, calling on Tenney to apologize for the comments. "This toxic rhetoric is shameful and a new low even for Ms. Tenney," Brindisi said on Twitter. "Inserting politics into a national tragedy is beyond the pale disgusting. She should apologize now to spare our region any more national embarrassment." Now, whether or not the shooter is a Republican or Democrat is not the issue, since evil can be found in anyone regardless of who they vote for in an election. The real problem is what can be done to prevent more shootings from occurring and how can we better protect our children. First off, these tragic shootings are taking place on school campuses which happen to be gun-free zones, so why aren't we arming our teachers and giving them the best tools to protect these precious children? No one can answer that question, which is why we as conservatives need to push for until that solution drowns out the calls for more gun laws. It is up to us to change the narrative that the mainstream media is selling, and the only way to do that is to band together and make voice heard. HT, The Daily Caller, from the web powered by Zergnet. Awkward Olympics wardrobe malfunctions. You can't unsee the real reason you don't hear about LeAnn Rimes anymore. You have to see Meghan Markle's natural hair. This figure skating move was too provocative for the Olympics. The truth about Chip Gaines. Here's what you didn't know about Megyn Kelly.